Here we are in this new folder. We have this grid template area folder, and we have this index.html and style.css. As you can see, there is a change in our items. We have this header, sidebar, content, and footer, and each of them has the classes of header, sidebar, content, and footer, and it's all part of our grid. So here I want to do is to lay out this as a page, like we have header on top, sidebar on the left, and then content on the right, and in the end we have this footer. We will have something like this using grid template areas. So let's do this. Firstly, we will define our columns. We will have two columns. Our first row will cover the whole header. Next two rows will have sidebar and content along with each other, and thirdly we will have this footer in row 4. So we need two columns and 4 rows. So let's create that. We will have 1 FR and 3 FR columns. Save it. There you go. And nextly we will have 100 pixel row for header, 150 pixel row, and 350 pixel row, and in the end we will have this 100 pixel row, and save it. So here we have this. Now we will define a layout using grid template areas, and our items will follow that layout. So we will define grid template areas. Here we will define our structure, how we want our items to lay out. So firstly, we have these two columns and we want header in our first row. So we will say header twice, as we have two columns. Next up, we will have sidebar first, and then we will have content. For the third row, we will copy this as we want the same. And for the last row, we want footer, and we will save this. So as you can see, there is no change happened. So we have defined our layout using grid template areas, where in our first row we want only the header, in our second row we want sidebar on the left and then content. Similarly, we have the third row, and then we have the footer for the fourth row, as you can see here. Now what we're gonna do, we have defined these classes and we will use these classes to implement this layout on these items. So how we can do this? We will have this header class, and I want this to be in our grid area of header. So what this will does is it will assign this header area to our this header item. So let's save this, and this will cover our header portion. There we go. We have this header in our header area. Then we say I want footer in my guess footer area. I will save this, and there we go. When we have this footer area. Next up is we want this sidebar to be in our sidebar area, and we can simply say grid area sidebar. Save it, and there we go. We have our sidebar covering the whole sidebar area. And the last, we will have this content in our content area. So we have this layout, and you can simply change this layout. You can say that I want my content to be on the left and my sidebar on the right. So I will copy this. So previously my content was on the right and now my content is on the left. So I save it, and there we go. We have this content on the left, but now we have this 1FR and 3FR thing. We will have to change this as well, as I want my content to be 3FR and my sidebar to be 1FR. There we go. We have this. And through this, we can create multiple layouts for the different page sizes using media queries.